Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I want you to watch this clip and tell me if the car that's moving in the clip hits the car that's not moving in the clip. What y'all think?
This is what the video, here it is, Vinny. So she's pulling out in the black SUV. And that's the victim's SUV parked. And the defense says that she makes contact, hits the victim's SUV right there, damaging that back right passenger side tail light. And they also claim you can see, the victim's SUV move, indicating that there was a collision. And then as she pulls away, they say that you can tell there's missing parts of the tail light coming.
Right. But it would have been missing if it was a result of striking Officer OKeefe at that time also. Here's a closer look at it. Once again, as we're backing up here, keep your eye and see if you see any movement here from the other car. It's very possible.
Yeah, it's very possible. Prosecution doesn't say there's contact.
If the whole case was, how did the tail light get broken? You've got reasonable doubt right there.
Reasonable doubt, yes.
You've got reasonable doubt right there, because you can't tell, but it's very reasonable to think that at that point you could have broken that tail light.
Because police in Boston, Massachusetts have arrested this woman, 43-year-old KarenRead, for second-degree unaliving because they believe she unalived her boyfriend of 2 years, John OKeefe. Now, this is a wild ride. I'm going to give you the story in 3 parts, and you've got to watch all the parts. So on January 29, 2022, Karen and John OKeefe go bar hopping. Side note, if you can't tell from the picture, John OKeefe is a Boston police officer and had been on the force for 16 years. When John and Karen arrive at the second bar of the night, they run into this woman. Her name is Jennifer McCabe, and Karen doesn't know Jennifer that well, but John does. As the night starts to wind down, Jennifer invites John and Karen over to her sister and brother-in-law's house, the Alberts. Karen agrees to drop John off at the Alberts' house, but she isn't feeling well, so she just wants to drop him off and then go home. Karen and John arrive at the Alberts' house around 12:25 a.m. John doesn't really know anyone inside the house, so he asks Karen to wait in her car just for a little while to make sure he doesn't change his mind and want to go home. Karen waits for a while, but John never comes back outside, so she assumes he's going to stay at the house and hang out. Karen drives home, and then at 4:53 a.m., Karen wakes up and realizes John never came home. Freaking out, he's not answering any of her calls or her text messages, so she reaches out to Jennifer McCabe, the woman that invited them to the Alberts' house last night. Jennifer agrees to help Karen look for John. Now, Karen also calls a second woman by the name of Carrie Roberts, and the 3 women get together and go looking for John. Now, this is where things start to get interesting. According to police reports, Jennifer McCabe tells the lead investigator, whose name is Trooper Michael Proctor, that during the car ride to look for John, Karen said, quote, "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him?" And she also mentions having a broken taillight. And then Carrie, the other woman that helped them look for John, she tells Trooper Michael Proctor that when Karen first called her, she said, quote, "I wonder if he's dead. It's snowing. He got hit by a plow." Oh, if I forgot to mention this, it's January in Boston, so yes, it's snowing. So the 3 women are in the car searching for John and head over to the Alberts' house. According to the statement that Jennifer gave to Trooper Proctor, as they're pulling up to the house, Karen, John's girlfriend, immediately yells out that she sees John laying in the snow. Carrie and Jennifer are confused because they don't see John in the snow. Karen jumps out of the car and goes directly to where John's body, and she starts doing CPR. By 6:04 a.m., the police are called, and hours later, John OKeefe is pronounced dead at the hospital. He had 6 bloodied lacerations varying in length on his right arm. Both of his eyes were swollen shut, and they were black and blue. There was a right cut above his right eyelid. His clothes were saturated with blood. 4 days after John is found, KarenRead, John OKeefe's girlfriend, is arrested and charged with his murder. On the arrest warrant, Michael Proctor, who again is the lead investigator, says that there is evidence of manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, and leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. In regards to what happened that night, Jennifer tells Michael Proctor that she saw Karen's SUV pull up near the driveway at the Alberts' house around 12:30 a.m. She texts John at 12:31, 12:40, and again at 12:45, basically asking if he's going to come in and that he can pull up behind her car. Through the window of the house, Jennifer says she sees Karen's black SUV move to the left side of the house and then he drive away, but John never comes inside. The location that John's body is found, according to Jennifer, is the same place she saw Karen's black SUV from the night before, which again is the left side of the house. According to the arrest warrant, Michael Proctor says that there were 2 red plastic pieces of a taillight discovered in the area of John's body, which were consistent with the missing pieces of Karen's taillight on her SUV. So the story, according to Michael Proctor, is that John O'Keefe never made it inside the house that night. Instead, Karen hit him with her black SUV and then drove away and left him to die in the cold. But Karen's attorney says not only did Karen not hit and kill John O'Keefe, but this is all a police cover-up originating with the Albert family. Come back for part 2 so we can dive into what exactly Karen's attorneys are alleging and why this story is crazier than you can imagine.